Hey everyone! So let's talk about Git history. If you've ever found yourself wrestling with your code, trying to create those perfectly clean, logical commits, then you're going to want to see this. We're looking at a tool called git-stage-batch, and it's all about giving you surgical precision over your commits. This quote it hits the nail on the head, right? We've all been there. The process of actually writing code is messy by nature. You're trying things, fixing bugs, refactoring on the fly, but the story you tell in your Git history, well, that needs to be clear. It needs to make sense. And that's exactly the problem we're going to solve. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the struggle we all face trying to keep commits clean. Then we'll see how this tool goes beyond the limitations of hunks. We'll explore its stateful workflow, see how it's built for both people and machines, and then give a little sneak peek at some advanced features. Okay, let's dive into section 1. We all want that beautiful, readable Git history. But if we're being honest, the tools we use every day can sometimes feel like they're fighting against us. So think about git add-patch or -p. We all use it, right? It's great, but it has this one big limitation. It only thinks in hunks, those blocks of changes Git shows you. You either stage the whole block or you skip it. That's it. But git-stage-batch, that's a whole different ballgame. We're talking about line-by-line precision in a workflow that's built for you to go back and forth, carefully crafting your commits. So yeah, let's talk about going beyond the hunk. Seriously, this is the superpower. This is what makes this tool a complete game changer.
Picture this, because I know you've been here. You're working on a cool new feature, and bam, you notice a little bug that's totally unrelated. So you fix it, write that in there. Now, as far as Git is concerned, your feature code and that bug fix are all tangled up in one single messy hunk. So what do? With the old tools, it's a pain. You're trying to manually edit the patch, and it's just clunky and easy to mess up. How do you pull apart those two separate ideas into two clean commits?
Well, with git-stage-batch, the answer is this. It's beautiful. You just tell it, hey, I want to include line 1 and line 3. That's it. You stage just the bug fix, and all the feature stuff is left behind, ready for the next commit. It is literally that precise. And that level of precision unlocks a totally new way of working. You're not just staging files anymore. You're actually curating your commits. You're being an editor for your own history. See, git add-p is what you'd call single pass. You go through your changes from top to bottom, make your decisions, and you're done. This tool, though, is stateful. It actually remembers what you've staged and what you haven't, which means you can build up your commit piece by piece without ever losing your place. And the workflow itself is just so simple and elegant. You type start to see everything that's changed, you include the lines for one specific logical change, then you just git commit. And here's the magic part. You type again, and the tool only shows you the stuff you haven't staged yet. You just repeat that loop, creating these perfect atomic commits until your working directory is clean. It's awesome. Now, this is where things get really, really interesting. This tool was designed from the ground up for two very different users, humans and, well, machines. It recognizes that developers aren't the only ones writing commits anymore. So for us humans, there is a TUI, a terminal user interface. You can call it a GUI. It gives you a visual, menu-driven way to work, a lot like the interactive mode you might already be used to. But for machines, and this is so important for the future, there's a stateful command line interface. Every single action is its own command, which means it's totally scriptable. This is absolutely perfect for AI assistants and LLMs, allowing them to use this same powerful logic to build clean commits for you. So we've covered the core workflow, right? But the name, git-stage-batch, kind of hints that there's more going on, so let's just take a quick peek at the more advanced side of things. The tool lets you organize changes into what it calls batches. Just think of them as named buckets, where you can stash related changes, even if they're spread across a bunch of different files. This is incredibly powerful for huge refactors or complex features. It's a really deep topic, though, so we're going to save the deep dive for a future explainer. Trust me, it's worth the wait. So if there's one thing to take away, it's this. By giving you line-level control and a stateful workflow that works for both you and your AI assistant, this tool lets you finally turn that messy working directory into a clean, professional, and understandable story. So the only question left is, are you ready to craft your commit history with some real surgical precision?